اللهم صل على سيدنا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد الفاتح لما أغلق والقاتم لما سبق ناصر الحق بالحق وحاده إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ما قدره العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما. الحمد لله رب العالمين. أفضل صلاة وتم تسليما على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. ورضي الله تعالى عن سادات التابعين وعلماء آمنين وأئمة أربعين مجتهدين مقلديهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. This is another class of Umdat'l Muta'Abideen of the Maliki Fiqh series by Imam Muhammad Abdullah Amin. The Maliki Fiqh series is specifically the works of the Shehu Uthman Dan Fodio Taqaddam Allah bi Rahmati Amin. The first text that we went over that I completed is Umdat'l Bayan. The second text, which we're almost close to halfway finished, is Umdat'l Muta'Abideen. The next text will be Umdat'l Ubad, and the text after that will be Umdat'l Ulama. Inshallah ta'ala, if everyone who is watching on Facebook, please like and share the video to your walls. And all those who are watching on YouTube, please like, share the video, and hit the subscribe to both of the channels, and hit the notification bells if you haven't already did so that when anytime we upload a video or we're doing a class or the podcast, that you'll receive the notifications on YouTube. Today's portion is on Zakat al-Mal, right? This is specifically Zakat al-Mal. Zakat al-Mal is loosely translated as the poor tax or the alms tax. The alms tax is related to the poor, right? Because this is paying the zakat, is how the wealth is generated and spread out throughout the world, right? Throughout the Muslim world. To hit a side note, if everyone that is obligated in the category of the one who pays zakat al-mal was to pay the zakat, even if they pay it based off of their taqwa to all of the individuals who are recipients of zakat al-mal, then the wealth throughout the world will be spread evenly, right? However, this zakat al-mal, right, where you pay 2.5% of your wealth, this has to be collected by the one who the Khalifa, the Amir al-Mu'mineen, appoints to collect the zakat, right? Um, However, though we are exempt of, we don't have a Khalifa, an Amir al-Mu'mineen for the Muslim world since 1922, right? Or 19, yeah, since 1922. Um, the obligation of those who are supposed to pay zakat al-mal is based off of their individual taqwa, and they still must pay it, right? However, just because the Muslims don't have a Bayt al-Mal, don't mean that we're exempt from paying the zakat al-Mal. It's just that because we don't have a Bayt al-Mal, a Muslim treasury, that is the wealth of the Muslims, to distribute the zakat to those who are recipients to receive it. Each individual that that are in the position where they have to pay zakat al-mal, they must pay it, right? Um, there are people who are exempt from paying zakat al-mal as well, but zakat al-mal is different from zakat al-fitr. And next week, inshallah, I'll be going over zakat al-fitr in the Umdat'l Muta'Abideen. So the zakat is what one's wealth pays from one's wealth, which is well known and means the purification of one's wealth. It also means the purification of one's iman, of his faith as well. The verb from it is to purify, to increase in purification. 1 second. Okay. All right. Um, this purification, which occurs when one gives the zakat from one's wealth to another, meaning to the one who can receive it, who are recipient of it. For the zakat is what you take from your wealth in order to purify it by means of giving, which is actually it's not a voluntary, it's not a supererogatory act. It's obligatory to pay this of paying the zakat. It's an obligation, right? To pay 2.5% of your wealth. Wealth meaning what is left in excess of your wealth after debts, bills, expenses, right? Because everything exceeding them necessities is wealth. Hold on. When it is taken from the wealth and given over to the indigent to fulfill their rights, it is a form of increased purification because it cleanses the remainder of the wealth, distinguishes it, rectifies it, and augments it. Thus, the etymological root of the expression zakat linguistically is from the meaning of the expression purification, argumentation, blessings and praise. The meaning, the meaning of zakat in the language of the people of Allah is the purification and sanctification of the soul by generously giving it and sacrificing it in the way of Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I have purchased from the believers their souls and their wealth. For the soul and the wealth are two trusteeships from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to see which of you are best in deeds. Right? For the trusteeship of the soul is a consignment which, when it is altered, leads to the alteration of everything with it. Right? Good or bad. In reality, the soul is the only thing which can be altered with humanity. For there is nothing with him which can be altered except his soul. When it is altered, everything besides it is altered. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, verily Allah does not alter what is with a people until they themselves alter what is with their soul. Thus, when it is altered by expending it freely in the way of Allah, he has succeeded. He has succeeded who purifies it. And when it is altered by expending it on behalf of its corrupt passions, and he has failed. He has failed who intrigues with it. As for the trusteeship of wealth, it is what a human imagines to be his possessions, but it is in reality the possessions of another and a consignment given to him. Thus, when he expends it by giving it to the 8 rightful owners, he actually purifies what remains of it, which really does belong to him. With the people of Allah, the wealth which a person envisions is his, but is actually the rights of others, are 8 categories. Now, what is being explained here is that the wealth that we accumulate, the wealth that we gain, right? The portion of the wealth that belongs to us is what we give, right? Is what we give. And the portion that does not belong to us is what is rightfully those who are under our care, right? Our children, our family. Therefore, the rights that is owed to people that's under our care, that doesn't belong to us. What belongs to us is what we give in zakat, what we give in sadaqah. All of that is under the category of our good deeds. That's what we send forth. That's what we send forth, right? What we accumulate that is for our necessities, that doesn't belong to us. The 8 categories, the actual rights of others that are the 8 categories, the assumed existence of a servant, his life, his knowledge, his will, his power, his hearing, his sight, and his speech. All of these are in reality a consignment to him from the real owner of the consignment, who is Allah, the Lord of the worlds. It is then obligatory upon him to give over the consignment to his people, who are 8 categories and are in one respect the envoy of the real owner of the consignment and his commissioned agents. Thus, when there comes to him the poor, the destitute, the wayfarer, the official appointed to collect the zakat, the secretary, the one with a debt, the one who needs to be attracted to Islam, or the struggler in the way of Allah, and he gives over to one of these eight their consignment with the goodness of his heart, then he has purified his soul. All right, so these eight people that I mentioned are those who are the recipients of the zakat, right? Are the recipients of the zakat. And I'm going to repeat it again. Thus, when it comes to him, the poor, the destitute, the wayfarer, the official appointed to collect the zakat, the secretary, the one with a debt, and the one who needs to be attracted to Islam, or the struggler in the way of Allah, the one who is the mujahid, the one who is in the actual physical struggle in the way of Allah, or the one who is going out to partake in jihad for the Muslim ummah, to make Islam supreme, then they are recipients of the zakat. All right. Right. So for the eight attributes of the servant with which he describes himself with are not in reality the possession of the servant, but they belong to Allah. Allah Ta'ala says, and Allah created you and your actions. All right, Allah Ta'ala created you and your actions. What this means is that each individual does not have free will. Free will does not exist, because if Allah Ta'ala created us and our actions, then everything, all of our actions is by the will of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, whether they are good deeds or bad deeds, something that we really literally have no control over, because Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala already created the choice that you were gonna make, right? And he said, and Allah Ta'ala says, and they do not have violation except that Allah wills it. And Allah says, and you did not throw when you threw, but it was Allah who threw. This ayah was talking to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam when he went in the battle of Uhud. He threw the dirt. He threw the dirt. And Allah Ta'ala said that it wasn't not you that threw when you threw, but it was Allah. Also related to Allah Ta'ala created us in our actions. For the intelligent person is the one who does not attribute his good attributes to himself, nor does he see himself in his obedience or good behavior. Rather, he attributes all his good and indeed all good to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala says, do not praise yourselves. He knows best who really has fearful awareness. Allah Ta'ala really knows best. Allah Ta'ala knows best who has taqwa. Therefore, it is obligatory for the servant to remove these attributes and withdraw them from himself and attribute them to their rightful owner, which is Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, by expending them freely in his way, with a content heart. For when you do this, you will have the reward from Allah, which equals to 10 like it. This is the reward of the Noors of Allah, and you will attain a station which will abide for you in your existence, your life, and the remainder of your attributes. Thus, Allah Ta'ala will cause these attributes to persist for you, cleansed and purified, and you will be among the spiritually successful. This is the meaning of his words. He has succeeded who purifies it. Once a person attains the station of the Nur of Allah, then he has enriched him with the variety of his direct experiential knowledge and sciences. It then becomes obligatory upon him to give the zakat on what he attained from his Lord, because the needs of the soul for knowledge of Allah is greater than its needs for transcendent livelihood, wealth, and other than these from the vanities of this world life. For knowledge is two kinds. One, knowledge which is obligatory upon every mukallaf, responsible person to know and act upon from the foundations of the religion, jurisprudence, fiqh, and spiritual purification to soul or ihsan, which are a part of the individual obligations, the fard ayn. This knowledge is an obligation upon the scholars of these disciplines to teach them to every person who asks and every person in need of them. Now, what the shade who teaches in his minhaj. Hold on. All right, so um, for if the scholar conceals anything from this knowledge, he is like one who has withheld giving the zakat on his wealth. It is for this reason that he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, whoever is asked about something, who is ever asked about knowledge and then conceals it, Allah will bridle him with a bridle of fire on the day of judgment. So what the Shaykh who teaches in his minhaj is that every individual. I'm just building something. I'm building something. All right, that every individual who learns their fard ayn and they learn it well is they're a scholar in their fard ayn. I mean, where they know it well, they could teach it, they can convey it, they can explain it. All right. However, if he disseminates his knowledge and by means of it revives the hearts of humanity, then Allah Ta'ala will increase. Allah Ta'ala will increase his knowledge and teach him a knowledge which he did not previously know, which is 10 times his like, and Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala knows best. That's the first kind of knowledge. The second kind of knowledge, as for the second kind of knowledge, which is from the collective obligations, the fard kifaya, and from those sciences which have been specifically designated for the people of Allah and His awliya, it is not an obligation upon the knower of these disciplines to expend them, except to those deserving of it from those who have completed the knowledge of the individual obligations who completed the knowledge of the fard ayn, and from those who have subjugated their souls for the sake of Allah, the Lord of the worlds, as the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the narration of Ibn Majah on the authority of Anas bin Malik. Seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Uh, for فرض علم فرض علم على كل طالب علم فريض على كل مسلم. طالب علم فريض على كل Muslim. That seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Now, seeking knowledge, and in this hadith, it's not just talking about the Islamic knowledge, the individual obligation of the Islamic knowledge. It's not just talking about Islamic knowledge. It's including Islamic knowledge and all other knowledge, secular knowledge, scientific knowledge, all of this knowledge that is necessary to be utilized um, in governing and expanding uh, knowledge of technology, right? Because one of the during the Muhammad Fatih, the time of Muhammad Fatih, rahimahullah, the Khalifa that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had foretold or prophesied that would liberate, that would conquer Constantinople, conquer Constantinople, the furthest eastern branch uh, of the Byzantine Empire, the Roman Empire, was Emperor Byzantine. That one of the obstacles that he had was that they didn't have the technology to knock down the wall of Constantinople, right? So they had Rangers go break out one of the engineers from prison in Constantinople to bring them to the Khalifa, and he built a massive cannon. That had the firepower to break through the walls and lay siege to the city of Constantinople. Now, his father, years before that, or grandfather years before that, had laid siege to Constantinople, and he was never able to penetrate the wall. But during this time, he was able to penetrate the wall, and the most surprising thing is that when they broke through, the people in Constantinople was welcoming them. They didn't feel like they was being invaded. They felt like they was being freed and liberated, because the Emperor Byzantine, he was taxing them with unnecessary oppressive taxes. People were starving. People was barely was barely surviving under his rulership. So when the Muslims came, the people welcomed them. All right. So and and this was like Salam Rahmatullah Tabakatu. Allahumma Ameen. All right. So this technology, all right, this technology, it was obligatory for the Muslims to learn this, like to learn the knowledge to make tanks, and to make planes, and to make helicopters, and to make ammunition. All of these things. This is obligatory. Like one of my teachers that I learned pretty much everything from. So Maliki fiqh, Quran, Hadith, uh, usul. Though he's a sheikh or an imam, his profession is a chemical engineer. right? That's his profession. He's a chemical engineer. So when he had when and it's like his work in Islam is more important than his profession, right? Because he does more work in Islam than he does in his profession. However, placing knowledge with other than those who deserve it is like adorning pigs with expensive jewelry, pearls and gold, and Allah Ta'ala knows best. Now, what is meant here about placing knowledge with those with who don't deserve it, with other than those who deserve it? What it means is that it's uh, the people who are have zeal or zealous in learning and implementing and practicing the knowledge that they learn and conveying it and teaching it to the people. These are the people that you teach, that you instruct, right? I mean, you know what I'm saying, those who are gonna continue it on, because the purpose of teaching knowledge and learning knowledge is, the more that you learn, you're supposed to humble you. The more that you teach is supposed to humble you too, because if you have any students, they're not your students. These are the people that Allah Ta'ala sends to you to learn, for you to transmit knowledge to. So any individual who Allah Ta'ala bless to be a teacher, they must always look at themselves in the mirror and ask themselves, why are they doing this, right? Are they doing this solely for the sake of Allah and assisting and being a servant to the people, or they're doing this from for some personal gain, to be recognized as knowledgeable, or recognized as grounded, right? You know what I'm saying? To be seen to be placed in some station, a high station by the people, right? So an individual, they have to consistently check their intention. You know what I'm saying? Check why they're doing this, why they're doing this, and they have, you know what I'm saying, and in conveying this knowledge and advising, they have to do this in the station of love, not in the station of ridicule or the station of downing, right? They must do this in the station of love. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, uh, and pay the zakat. This statement, Allah Ta'ala usually combines this statement with aqimu salah wa atu zakat, establish the prayer and pay the zakat. This ayat is in Surah Muzammil. No, this ayat it's not in Surah Muzammil, because Surah Muzammil only has uh 20 ayats. This ayat is in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayat 43. Right? The Shaykh cites this particular ayat because it is not mentioned in the Quran except alongside. What's wrong, Sue? Papa's All right, it's only meant it's only mentioned in the Quran except alongside its companion, which is established the prayer. They are mentioned together eight times in the Quran by Allah Ta'ala's words. Waqimu salat wa atu zakat. Establish the prayer and pay the zakat. Then you turn away, except a few from among you, and you were predisposed to error. And by Allah Ta'ala's words, and establish the prayer and give the zakat. And when fighting was prescribed for them, a faction from among them feared people as they should have feared Allah, or with even greater fear. And Allah and about Allah Ta'ala's words, and establish the prayer and give the zakah, and what you send forth for your own souls from good, you will find it with Allah. Verily, Allah is seeing of what you do. And by Allah Ta'ala's words, and establish the prayer and give the zakah, and a loan to Allah, an excellent loan for which you send forth from good for your own souls, you will find it with Allah, for He uh, is good and the greatest of rewarders. So seek forgiveness of Allah. Verily, Allah is forgiving and merciful. And by Allah Ta'ala's words, and establish the prayer and give the zakah, and bow down with those who bow down. And by His words, and establish the prayer and give the zakah, and hold strongly to Allah. He is your Lord, the best of lords and the best of helpers. And by Allah Ta'ala's words, and establish the prayer and give the zakah, and obey the messenger, so that you can attain mercy. Thus establishing the prayer and giving the zakah are two incumbent obligations which no one has a license to forego, right? Thus performing them as Allah Ta'ala ordered them to be performed. Wherever Allah Ta'ala commands us to establish the prayer, He also orders us to give over the zakat, right? He does not distinguishes between them, right? Now, you know what I'm saying. Now, I mentioned these quite a few ayats where Allah Ta'ala says establish the prayer and give the zakat. Also, remember I said in the beginning that the zakat is also a proof of a proof of your iman. It's purifying your wealth and your good deeds, but it's also purifying your iman too. It's a testification of your iman, right? It is for this reason. It's for this reason Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu fought against those who refused to pay the zakat on their wealth, as it has been related by Ahmed and others on the authority of Abu Hurairah anhu, who said when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam died, Abu Bakr was appointed after him, and those who disbelieved from among the Arabs disbelieved. Umar said, "O Abu Bakr, how can you fight a people about whom the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I have been ordered to fight the people until they say that there is no deity except Allah? For whoever says there is no deity except Allah, then his wealth and self is protected from him, except by its rights, and their reckoning is with Allah." Then Abu Bakr said, "I swear by Allah, I will fight those who make a distinction between the prayer and the zakat." Right. So the point where the messenger that is mentioned that those who disbelieved from the Arabs. Eat it. I can't eat it. Hold on. All right. So those who disbelieved from among the Arabs disbelieve. What is actually talking about here is that if you make a distinction between the zakat, the salah, and the zakat, then this is an act of disbelief, right? This is an act of disbelief. And if it goes any further, that, you know what I'm saying, this is something that will make an individual apostate from Islam. So Abu Bakr said, "I swear by Allah, I will fight those who make a distinction between the prayer and the zakat. For verily the zakat is the right upon the wealth. And I swear by Allah, if they hold back even a hobbling cord that they used to give over to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I will fight them for it. Then uh, then Umar said, for by Allah, these words only showed me that Allah Ta'ala expanded the breast of Abu Bakr Siddiq for fighting. I then realized that he was on the truth. Thus, the meaning of his words and paid the zakat means the obligatory zakat on one's wealth. Abu Ja'far, Reda Anhu, said, it is to be given from the Abu Ja'far rahimahullah. He said, it is to be given from the goodness of one's soul based upon what has been made incompetent and obligatory. Or it means giving the zakat to the people whom Allah made a right over your wealth in order to purify your bodies and your wealth. The Shehu, Taqaddam Allah bi rahmati, mentions in his Umdat'l Muta'Abideen, the obligations of the zakat are three: intention, not delaying it, the lack of transfer, that its adab are three: the soul being cheerful about it being the best property, and concealing it from the sight of others. The erudite authority of the land of the blacks, Abdullah ibn Danfodio, Abdullah ibn Danfodio, to God Allah bi rahmati, said in his Diya Ulumuddin, in the section of the zakat and its secrets, it is one of the fundamental principles of Islam and is the sister to the prayer, and is an obligation to be paid upon every free Muslim, even the infant and the insane. So I mean, this is very serious, and they hold these scholars, they hold it in high regard. It has been related in the Sahih of al-Bukhari on the authority of Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu, whomever Allah Ta'ala awards with wealth and does not give the zakat on it, then on the day of standing, his wealth will be made like and what is meant here is that this means that it will take the form, or it will embody an appearance, which means becoming, that is to say that his wealth will be restored in the form of an intrepid snake. What is meant by wealth in this context is hard money, such as coins, as it was clearly indicated in the interpolation given by Bara, right? In the narration of Zayd ibn Aslam, it contains the following: there's no possessor of gold or silver coins who fail to give out the rights due to it, except that on the day of judgment he will be overlaid with coats of fire, whose heart will be inflamed in the hellfires, which will be cauterized his sides, forehead, and back. There is no contradiction between these two hadith due to the potential of the coming together of the two matters, and both happening at the same time. Now, when you get into fiqh, right? There are, along with gold and coins, you pay zakat on it, but there's also zakat on livestock. There's zakat on surplus of goods or products. If you're a merchant, and then, you know what I'm saying, and this text, it doesn't go into all of the things that there is a zakat on. in the Risala of Imam Ibn Abi Zayd Qarawani al-Maliki, that, you know what I'm saying, goes into detail about all of the other things that you have to pay. Zakat has to be paid on. All right, so I'm gonna continue. Finish with the hadith. Make like a bald-headed, poisonous male snake with two black spots on the eyes. The snake will encircle him on the day of judgment, and bite his cheeks, meaning his upper jaw. It will say, "I am your wealth. I am your treasure." Then the Prophet ﷺ recited the verse, "Let not those who are stingy with what Allah has given them from His bounty consider that it is good for them. Nay, it is evil for them. That which they were stingy with will be wrapped around their necks on the day of judgment." All right, so what is meant what is meant by an interpreted snake is a male snake. It is said that it is one who stands upright on its tail and leaps like a horse. The expression bald refers to the balding of its head. This is to say hairlessness due to the copious amount of poison it contains. It states in the Tahdhib al-Azhari, it is called balding because of the copious collection of poison, and it gathers in its head, causing hairlessness on the scalp of its head. Dorarima, Rahimullah, said the poison is collected in the head to the extent that it causes spotting on the scalp of the head. Al-Qurtubi said, balding in a snake refers to the whiteness of the head from poison, while the same expression, when applied to the humans, mean that there is no hair on his head. Right? This expression of talking about the two black spots on his eyes is in the feminine form of the word. It refers to two dimples which are normally located on the corner of the mouth, like when one says he spoke until foam formed at the corner of his mouth. That is to say, foam began to come out of them. It is also said that it refers to two black spots located above the eyes. It is said it is two dots which encompass its mouth. It is said that they are located on its throat, which acts as two gills. It is said that they are two muscles located on its head like two horns. It is said that they are two fangs which jut out from the mouth. Right? It is that is the statement. The snake will encircle him on the day of standing. That is to say that this serpent will be transformed until it encircles him, and to bite his cheeks, and bite his cheeks. The door of the action of biting is the snake, and the one bitten will be the possessor of wealth, as it occurred clearly in the narration of Himam on the authority of Abu Hurairah, with the wording, "It will continue to encircle him until it encloses his hands and completely obstruct his mouth." And the meaning as it refers to the upper jaw. So these are the two bones which protrude underneath underneath the beard under the eyes. So what is talking about is that when you look at the beard, and I have to explain this because it mentions about the beard, the part of the beard that's under the eyes. When you look at the beard, you have 8 parts of the beard, right? Or 6 parts of the beard. You have the goatee, which in the Maliki school you should never shave off, right? This is, you know, so you to shave this off or cut this off is sinful, right? You have the goatee, you have the lihya, you have uh, the the portion of this portion of the beard that connects the lihya to the mustache, and you have the I forgot this portion, but all of this is the beard, right? It's the full beard, and anyone who can grow a full beard, they should do as the Prophet ﷺ commanded, to leave the beard and trim the mustache. Trimming the mustache is not shaving it off to where it's bald. Trimming the mustache is where it's trimmed very low, and you can it's still visible, right? This protrude under these are the 2 bones which uh, protrude underneath the beard. I'm sorry, under the ears. Under the ears. So it protrude here and go down. And the jami, these refer to the muscles of the cheek, which move when a person eats. So all this whole cheek, but this upper portion is what is referred to. All right. Um, the statement, it will say, "I am your wealth. I am your treasure. I am your treasure." And then the Prophet recited the ayat. The utility of these uttered words is to increase the grief and punishment of the one who failed to give the zakat, as a sign that regret at this stage will be of no benefit. It is also a form of ridicule and jeering. The ayat where the Prophet ﷺ quoted is in Surah Al-Ali Imran, ayat 180, from citing of this particular ayat by the Prophet ﷺ. Is proof that it was revealed regarding those who refuse to pay the zakat. This is the opinion of the majority of the people of knowledge. It is said that this ayat was revealed regarding the Jews who concealed the attributes of the Prophet ﷺ. It is also said that it was revealed regarding those who had near relatives who failed to maintain the ties of kinship, according to Masruq. It also has been related in the Sahih Bukhari on the authority of Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, radiallahu anhu, that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "No one who has less than 5 awsuq has to give zakat. No one who has less than 5 awaq has to give zakat. No one who has less than 5 dhawd from camels has to give zakat." Has to give zakat. The expression awsuq, with the letter alf vowelized with fatah, and the letter sin vowelized with Dhamma, is the plural of wasq or whisk, which is equivalent to 60 measures. A measure is equal to 4 half bustles. A half bustle is equivalent to 1 1/3 pound. In another narration by Ibn Majah, by the way of Abu al-Bakhira, on the authority of Abu Sa'id, is stated similar to this hadith, and a wasq is equivalent to 60 measures. And yet two other narrations, one narrated by Abu Dawood also, however, it states 60 sealed measures, and the other from Kutni, from a hadith narrated from Aisha radiallahu anha, that alayhi salam, that a wasq is equal to 60 measures. There's no mention in the hadith explaining what exactly the measure of the awsuq was in reference to. However, in the narration of Muslim, it states, and in any measure short of 5 awsuq of dates or grain, there's no sadaqah, there's no zakat, there's no sadaqah. In yet another narration from him, it states, in grain or dates, there's no sadaqah until its measure equals 5 awsuq. The expression less than in the above 3 cited hadith means below, and it does not mean it negates sadaqah from those who have other than 5, in which they have more than 5, right? This hadith provides the proof of the obligation of zakat, of obligation of zakat in 3 matters, right? It also gives evidence that there is no zakat on farm produce until it reaches 5 awsaq. On the authority of Abu Hanifa, it is obligatory regarding whether its produce is a little or a lot, based upon his words upon him sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from that which grows from the downpour of heaven, there is a tenth to be given. This does not contradict the hadith in the amount which exceeds the mentioned limit. As far as silver is concerned, the majority of the scholars say it is to be measured in the same manner. On the authority of Abu Hanifa, rahmatullahi alayhi, he said that there is no sadaqah on anything in excess of 200 coins until it reaches the quorum, which is 40 awsaq. He took a Tabarani's opinion regarding dates and grain, made an analogy based upon it, due to the fact that, like them, gold and silver are taken from the earth with expenditures and supplies. It is thus agreed that sadaqah is due on 5 awsaq and more, meaning the zakat. Right? The as to give charity, give sadaqah. This means that it is if less than what is mentioned in measure is extracted from the earth, then there is no sadaqah on it. It is based upon this view that the majority of the scholars follow, except that Abu Hanifa differs from them, in that he held that whatever is extracted from the earth, that there must be sadaqah based upon the general meaning of the hadith. From that which grows from the downpour of the heavens, there is a tenth to be given. In the narration of Malik, on the authority of Muhammad ibn Abdurrahman ibn Abi Abi Sa'asai, on the authority of his father, on the authority of Abu Sa'id, he added 5 awsaq from silver. There is sadaqah, right? The scholars of linguistics say the expression warak and warq both means in the context of this hadith all forms of silver, whether it is mint coins or other than that. The amount of alqiya in the hadith is equal to 40 silver coins by agreement. What is meant by a silver coin here is pure silver, whether it is mint or not. Qadi Iyad said Abu Ubaid said a silver coin did not have a known measure until the time of Abdul Malik ibn Marwan. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on 1 second. Um, the time of Malik ibn Marwan, when the scholars, based upon consensus, made every 10 silver coins equal to 7 mithqals. This necessitates that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam permitted the Qur'an on zakat based upon an unknown value, which creates a problem. However, the correct opinion is that the meaning of what has been narrated regarding this is that there was nothing established in the early days of Islam regarding the exact measure, only because there was differences in the weight of silver with regard to the amount. In some cases, 10 silver coins equal 10 mithqals, and in other cases, 10 silver coins equals 8 mithqals. Thus, the latter agreement the latter agreement of opinion regarding the weight of a silver coin was in order to engage it in Arabic, and so that the weight could become a single standard weight. Others said that there was no change of the weight of the mithqals in the days of Jahiliyyah and Islam. As for the silver coin, it is the agreement of the scholars that 10 silver coins equals 7 mithqals, and there is no disagreement that the quorum for the zakat on silver is 200 silver coins, when the total amount of the silver reaches 140 mithqals of pure silver. The only scholar that differed regarding this rate was Ibn Habib al-Andalusi, for he was alone in his opinion that which people of their land know the weight of their silver coins. Ibn Abdul Bar, uh, Rahimullah, mentioned that the disagreement here was regarding the weight with respect to the silver coins of Al Andalus in comparison to the silver coins of other Islamic lands. Likewise, in the manner El broke with the consensus. El Morisi broke with the consensus with respect to the Quran and its amount, not its weight. This hadith gives evidence of non-obligation on the amount which is less that what is required for the yearly quota, even if it is less by a single grain. Although this differed with those who overlooked a small amount of deficiency in the yearly quorum, as it was transmitted by some of the followers of Imam Malik. Um, the la uh, less than five dode, the majority of the scholars are of the opinion that a dawud is from 3 to 10 camels, and is not and is not a reference to one in this expression. Abu Ubaid said it is from 2 to 10 camels, and with its completion with its completion of the section on the zakat and successes with Allah. So next week, inshallah ta'ala, uh, we're going over the section of zakat al-fitr, and inshallah ta'ala, everyone will be present. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم آمين. Please, everyone who is watching on Facebook, please like and share the video. Everyone who is watching on YouTube, please like and share the video. Uh, Subscribe to the channels if you have not, and hit the notification bells. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Let's try to share the videos as much as possible, and to keep the Facebook algorithm going and the YouTube algorithm going. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone have a good evening.